How's it going, Mathaholics? Once we get to 150 subscribers, we're going to give away 3 free Cane's gift cards. So if you want to have a chance to win one of those, just hit that subscribe button. Alright, without any further ado, a chef's salad at a local restaurant comes with a choice of French, ranch, or blue cheese dressings and optional toppings of cheese, turkey, and eggs. Draw a tree diagram to represent the sample space for salad orders. Okay, so once again, what does sample space mean? Sample space is simply all of the possible outcomes that we can have as a result of this experiment. Alright, so how do we go about drawing a tree diagram? Well, the first thing that we know is that we get a choice of a couple dressings. We can have French, ranch, or blue dressings. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our tree diagram. And let me zoom in on that. Alright, so we went ahead and created a tree diagram with a couple different choices because the French, the ranch, and the blue cheese dressing are the first 3 choices that were given to us. Now, what else does the question tell us? It says that besides the choice of dressings, we can choose to have cheese, turkey, and eggs. Okay. So what do we do, and how do we go from that small paragraph to all this? Like, how does that come about? We already know that we can choose between 3 different dressings, and now we know that we can have cheese. Great, so let's have some cheese, or let's not have some cheese. What do I mean by that? I mean that I can either choose to have cheese, or I can choose to not have cheese. And this little, whatever you want to call it, just shows the different possibilities that we could have, either cheese or no cheese. And so let's say we chose to have cheese. Now, does that mean we get to have turkey, or does it mean we don't get to have turkey? Trick question. It doesn't mean anything. If I chose cheese, I can still have turkey, or I can choose to not have turkey. Alright, so far we've chosen to take French dressing, cheese, we didn't really choose one here, but we'll go no turkey, and then do we want eggs or do we want no eggs? We'll take the eggs. Alright, and I accidentally crossed out that E, but there we go. So in this option we're going to have French dressing, we're going to have the cheese, we're going to have, we're not going to have turkey, so no turkey, and then we decided we're going to have the eggs. So right here, I just wrote all the things that we chose to do. And now, what does that tell us now? Right here, we just see, okay, where do I have those letters? F, C, and T, and E. Right here. And what is this that I boxed in? Sample space. What is sample space once again? I hope we knew that, but in case we didn't, it's just all of the possible outcomes that we could have had. And believe it or not, this whole thing looks really messy, really complicated, a bunch of coding type looking thing, but the rest of it is exactly how we just did that first one. So I'm going to do one more example. I'm going to go a little bit quicker through it because it's the exact same thing, but I'll still explain it so that we can understand what we're doing. Alright, so now we're going to have ranch with our salad. And so I can even go ahead and write it off to the side before we forget it. So we chose to have ranch. And then we don't want cheese, so we're going to say no cheese. And then besides that, we want turkey this time. Okay, and then we also want to have eggs. Alright, and now where do we see what we wrote? R and C, T, and E. Oh, it looks like it's right here. R and C, T, and E. And here is our sample space. So that is all we have to do. And now, in case you're ever asked to draw one of these really big, long, complicated tree diagrams, now you know that it's not really a big, long, complicated tree diagram. It's just a bunch of little things that you break into steps. So what would you do? I don't know what you would do, but I'll tell you what I would do, and then maybe you find it easy. So the first thing I would do is write off my 3 my first three choices. I can get French, ranch, or blue cheese. And then what other choices do we have? Well, we look back at the question and it says I can have cheese, turkey, and eggs. So besides having cheese, turkey, and eggs, what can I have? I can have no cheese, no turkey, and no eggs. So that is how we would go about doing this. Cheese, no cheese, same thing. Whoops, that should have been a cheese. No cheese. And you get the point. That is all you have to do for the entire tree diagram. And it's very easy once you just look at it that way. I hope this video was helpful to you.